Obadiah. Yeah, he was the Jedi Knight. Obi-Wan-Diah. Okay, I'll take esoteric interpretation for 200 vocab. Well, you don't say. All right. I'm very glad you chose that one. That is actually a perfect one to end before we do our Q&A. Obadiah 1, 3, and 4. If you could go to the minor prophet Old Testament book of Obadiah, it's really small, so it's hard to find, but it's an important book. Did you know sometimes the prophets of God didn't just give oracles of judgment against the Israelites? Sometimes they said, hey, you nations over there, I got something for you. And they would launch and load at them as well, right? Obadiah is an example of that. It's a prophecy against Edom and Edomites, descendants of Esau, right? Descendants of Esau. All right, so while you're turning there, you'll see. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I have another version of this that's not the whole Jeopardy thing, where I just show pictures of these guys dressed up. I explain the different camps. I break down their whole history. You get lost in the 60s and all this kind of stuff. And then I'll go to some of their doctrines and beliefs and all that. I said, let's switch that up. I'm going to really, the thing I like about cults that use the Bible is I get to read the Bible. I get to go to the Bible. So I hope and I pray, even if you're like, huh? You get to learn some Bible today. And that can never be a bad thing. So thank God for making Hebrews light so we can learn about Obadiah more, right? And I'm serious. I really mean that. That's why I did it this way. There was a reason. So here we are in Obadiah 1, 3, and 4. And now, here, let me break something down real quick. I got to explain this. Okay. You get othered. Now it's time to other the other. Who's the main person othering us? So-called white man. So-called because he's really red, because he's descendant of Esau, because Esau's red. That's not really true stuff, but that's what they say. Who are modern-day Europeans? They're not really Europeans. They like to rename themselves to hide their identity. We know white people like to redefine stuff, don't they? They're Edomites. They want to hide their identity. They know they're Edomites. In fact, Esau was red and hairy. Haven't you seen a bunch of red and hairy white guys at the beach? They're red and hairy. It's Esau. He loved to hunt. White people love to hunt. They'll sit in the tree for 2 days just to get a turkey. Clearly, it's Esau. Right? And he liked our women. What did he do? Married women from Egypt. Now, since we have a prophecy against Esau and the Edomites in Obadiah, you know it's going to get used. Now, got to stop here for a second. Moderates say white folks are descendants of Japheth. And actually, this is all speculation, really, because the Genesis 10 table doesn't really tell you. When people get these breakdowns of, well, Noah had basically a Chinese-looking son, a white son, and a black son. They kind of sometimes do. That's really oversimplification from, thousands of years ago when you got modern people groups and people, it's just, what I'm saying, but sometimes people do that. But Japheth sometimes is associated with the Europeans a lot of times, right? Doesn't mean that's really oversimplistic. But, so the moderates will do that. The one Westers got Esau. And that began with the commandment keepers in 1919 because we got documentation going all the way back to the one Westers that they did the Esau thing too. Now, why is that helpful? You didn't know that Esau and the Edomites are one of the main enemies of the Israelites in the Bible. In fact, there's a whole book about them. And I'm going to prove right now that this specifically talks about them. Are you ready? The pride of thine heart. Everybody knows the white man's proud. Just look at who smirks. When you think of a smirking person, it's got to be a white guy. You guys saw Nicholas say, man, he's smirking. That's what they're so arrogant. Everybody knows that. This is clear. You already know. We're talking about some proud man. It's got to be. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Now I'm going to stop here because I want to actually tell you what this is about. In all reality, there's a kingdom south of Israel called Edom. Not a big people as far as numerous, but they were way up high in the mountains and the rocks. And on the backside, you can't get back in there. It's an impenetrable fortress. They love to live in these rocks. It's very difficult to defeat them. So because of that, they're like, we can't be defeated. We have an impenetrable situation. Like, you're not going to be able to get us out of here, right? And so that's really what's going on. What God is about to say is like, oh, you think you're safe in a cave? You're not safe in a cave, man. You could be high. I'm going to get you. That's what he's saying there. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. But since this is actually about white people whose habitation is high, we know white people love to build skyscrapers and cities. We know they sit up there overlooking the city, all the peons and the plebes. Haven't you seen Batman? That's what they do. They're looking all up there, looking down on everybody. And the clefts of the rock who habitation. Well, everyone knows white people came out of caves, and they still love it up there in their skyscrapers. I'm not kidding you, by the way. The habitation is high. It's translated as white people's skyscrapers. Under a one West interpretation. And if you laugh, they'll say, you're just not spiritual. You're just not spiritual. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Do you see how the actual historical interpretation makes sense of the Edomite saying, I can't get out. You can't dislodge me. And God is saying, you're about to get dislodged. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Romans, symbol of the eagle. Nazis, symbol of the eagle. United States, symbol of the eagle. Oh, and almost all the countries in the ancient Near East use the symbol of the eagle. It's a common symbol for power. It's not just, we just know the Romans and the Nazis in the United States. Do you guys know Benjamin Franklin wanted the national bird to be a turkey? You guys probably heard of it. It's true, he really did. I guess he wasn't an Edomite. He wanted a turkey. Or he was trying to hide the fact he was an Edomite. So this symbolic identification as proof, these are powerful Edomites, is the way they look at it. Even though Assyria, same thing, the ancient Near East used the eagle as a symbol, right? Because it's a bird of prey, right? I'm about to swoop down and get you. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord. Here's where it gets weird, and then we'll do Q&A. They teach that when the United States landed on the moon, if they even believe in that, the reason they said the eagle was landed is because of this passage. And the nest among the stars is the International Space Station. Kid you not. So this is a prophecy against the United States of America. That's what this prophecy is. And so a lot of times they'll say, when was Obadiah 1, 3, and 4 fulfilled? And they think it's like a gotcha question. They think they got us with saying that. Because that's the way they interpret it is bringing down the United States of America. That's what it's about. But it's really about Edom. And guess what? There are no more ethnically distinct Edomites. They were destroyed numerous times over. The last time we even see one mention is Herod of Idumea. Idumea is the Greek way to say Edom. After that, we don't really see them pop up. We don't know where they were. They're gone. This is fulfilled. And their dwelling place in Petra, it was like a ghost town until archaeologists discovered it. And they said, oh, this sounds like biblical prophecy fulfilled. And it was.